Cappadocia is one of the most picturesque places on the planet.
It's real beautiful.
But reality can be harsh. Thousands of tourists leave this place upset because they don't see the balloons here.
We didn't see balloons at all.
We planned a hot air balloon flight, but for the moment today was cancelled. Tomorrow is going to be cancelled probably because of the wind.
But don't worry. In this video, I'm gonna tell you how not to miss your air balloon ride and save your nerves, how to properly prepare for the trip, which attractions to visit, which hiking routes to choose, and even which food to try. Let's talk about the balloons. Most people take balloons in Cappadocia for granted. They think that they can see hot air balloons in the air every morning. But in fact, to see them or have a ride, you should have luck, because balloon flights can be easily cancelled due to the weather conditions, when it's too windy or foggy. For instance, this February, there were just several days when the balloons flew. Even in summer times, there are many cancellations. It's better to spend in Cappadocia at least 2 or 3 mornings and book your hot air balloon ride on the first day of your stay. If you leave it to the last day, you may simply not experience it. When I was in Cappadocia for the first time 4 years ago, I stayed here for 3 days, but I didn't see any balloons because of the strong wind.
So finally, after 4 years, I'm having this air balloon experience. One of the dreams finally came true. This is so beautiful here. Definitely worth the price, and also worth getting up so early, like at 4 a.m.
Today there are more than 20 companies, and in total they have more than 200 registered balloons. Price for a ride depends on the season and can range from $50 to $250 US. And now imagine how much money the region earns from the balloons. Let's suppose that the number of flyable days is 260. The number of flying balloons per day is 150. And the average load of one balloon is 15 people. The average price for a ride is $150 US. We multiply all these numbers and get almost 88 million US per year, or approximately 240,000 US per day. But if you happen not to see the balloons, don't feel frustrated, because Cappadocia is an amazing place even without them. And now I'll show you why. Cappadocia is a big area that covers several provinces like Uchisar, Aksaray and Kayseri. But this is the place with the most unusual houses, where people still live. Just imagine! Cappadocia was formed as a result of eruptions of several volcanoes. The streams of lava and ash came from the earth, froze and turned into tuff. After that, over millions of years, wind and rain destroyed this fragile material and created these fabulous figures and rocks, pyramids and canyons. Soft tuff allowed people to carve houses and churches and create settlements in the area, and even underground cities. There are a lot of attractions and activities here. You can explore the towns Goreme, Uchisar and Chavushin. Learn the history of Cappadocia in Goreme Open Air Museum. Visit viewpoints not far from Goreme, go trekking on a bunch of scenery routes, or take ATV or horse riding tours. You can explore Cappadocia on your own, by car or public transport, or you can buy a guided tour. They usually offer green and red tours for one day, with stopping at the most popular places in Cappadocia. The average price is about $45 to $50 US. You can also rent a car. We traveled on our own and recommend you to do the same.
Most visitors stay at Goreme, so it's very touristy.
It has developed infrastructure and is considered to be the tourist center of Cappadocia.
During this visit, I have noticed that there are so many places in Goreme under construction. A lot of new hotels and restaurants are being built. So obviously the tourism industry is thriving here.
Some people think that Goreme is one of the most beautiful villages in the world, but I'd say that it's not without problems.
Goreme, somehow lacks coziness and neatness. In some places, roads are so dusty and wide, like concrete fields.
Maybe in several years, when the large construction is over, the town will look nicer and cleaner. Another problem is that there are many homeless dogs, but this is a general issue for Turkey, though we saw that people fed them. From Goreme you can easily reach other small towns like Uchisar and Chavushin, and I would definitely recommend you to visit them.
You can either walk there, because the distances are from 4 to 10 kilometers, or you can take a local bus called Dolmuş from the central bus station in Goreme, which is right over there.
The first thing you notice when you come to Uchisar and Chavushin is that they are so peaceful. There are just few people in the streets. And there you can find traces of real life, like done in a cart. It seems that people come here just to sit near the fortress and drink a cup of tea or coffee, because it's so picturesque here. Uchisar is the name of the town and a rock fortress. This is the highest viewpoint in Cappadocia, from where you can see incredible landscapes. This is my favorite place in Cappadocia.
And why I like this place so much? Because of the rock fortress. It reminds me of a house for termites, termitarium, but instead of termites, people used to live here.
You can explore its interior. Numerous rooms were carved into the rock and connected with each other by stairs, tunnels and passages.
Explore, walk, take your time, it's incredible.
Chavushin is the least tourist place of all.
First thing I noticed here is that it's so peaceful here. There are no people in the streets at all. This is an interesting place indeed. A greenhouse just in front of the main attraction here. Chavushin is one of the most ancient settlements in Cappadocia. People lived here until 1960s. Yes, until the 60s of the previous century. That's really unbelievable. Because of erosion and the risk of collapse, people had to leave this place and move to other houses.
Chavushin is a nice town, but unfortunately, in some places very polluted.
This is Chavushin Castle complex. Yeah, it looks dilapidated, and there are also people sitting there. They seem very brave because I wouldn't do that. You can go this way and find a church of John Baptist, which is from the 5th century. I don't see a safe way to the church, but I have a flying friend, a small flying friend, which I'm going to use now to film the church inside.
And this is what we saw. Impressive, isn't it?
I think the hiking here is really good and it's not too difficult, so anyone can do it, I think.
You saw everything, the landscape. You think that, wow.
You are tiny.
Yeah, we
You're
are
tiny.
very tiny.
Trail 1, Swords Valley, Red Valley and Rose Valley. This is my favorite trekking. It starts from Goreme and ends in town Chavushin. You realize almost from the start that it's gonna be just amazing. It's pretty simple, like all hiking trails in Cappadocia, everyone can do it. There'll be some parts on the route when you need to climb up a ladder or go through a cave, but apart from that, it's so easy. For sure you can finish it within 3 hours, but I'd say that the Red and Rose Valley route is a full day trekking. Because, come on guys, look at these views, you're gonna take zillions of pictures here. On your way, there will be many ancient cave churches and settlements, which you shouldn't miss. You will also find stables with horses, as Cappadocia is a horseland. They are really an integral part of the local landscapes. By the way, Cappadocia in Persian means the land of beautiful horses.
Such a nice smell of horse shit. Very nice.
The second route is hiking in the Love Valley. Yes, exactly here you can see the famous fairy chimney formations. But we all know that they are in reality penis-shaped rock monuments, a truly natural wonder. The last hiking trail we had was in the Pigeon Valley. It starts from Goreme and finishes in Uchisar, or the other way around. Part of the trekking leads through a canyon with interesting formations. The Pigeon Valley was named after thousands of pigeon houses carved into soft tuff in ancient times. Pigeons were very important because their eggs were used as a material for frescoes, whereas their fertilizers were applied for grapeyards and farms.
So we have historical parts as well, such as Apnea Museum.
It was very beautiful, and it's a very good starting point to understand what happened in the region and to understand the various influences.
The museum is situated just 1 kilometer uphill from the center of Goreme. It lies in the valley where people started building churches in the 4th century, at the early Christian period. At that time, people had to worship and pray in secret. Tufa rock is easy to carve, and the locals built many churches and houses in this area.
The first thing you notice, the museum is so popular, and there are people from different countries, like from Moldova, from Uzbekistan, from Thailand, from Russia, and from European countries as well.
Nowadays, you can visit some of these rock-cut churches and monasteries and enjoy ancient Byzantine cave frescoes showing biblical scenes. In some churches you can find well-preserved bright paintings. But there you can't take pictures or videos. That's why I'll show you the interior in the churches where cameras are allowed. Some churches really impressed me a lot with frescoes. You can spend a lot of time looking at them.
Why would I paid for the audio guide? Yeah, the same information you can find on the stands.
When the Ottomans came to Cappadocia, the local people used the caves as pigeon houses. It took historians many years to clean and restore the paintings. I think it would be incomplete to visit Cappadocia without seeing Goreme open-air museum.
In my opinion, Cappadocia is not only balloons or Martian landscapes. After all, it's also a very important historical place.
The cuisine of Cappadocia has its own unique features and special dishes. It has a lot of meat dishes that are cooked over low heat or coals for 5 to 6 hours. This is because in Cappadocia, in comparison with other regions in Turkey, the climate is colder and winters are harsh. That's why people here need to eat more fatty and high-calorie food. There are some special dishes in Cappadocia which you should eat. The first dish you should try is tasty kebab. It is meat like lamb, beef or chicken cooked in a clay pot or a jug. When ready, the pot is cracked in front of you. Our kebab was served with rice. The next dish you should try is called manti. These are basically very small dumplings with meat. Cappadocia is one of the best places where you can see hundreds of flying balloons and have a ride, but you should be ready that you may not see them. However, Cappadocia is worth your attention even without balloons. It's one of the most beautiful regions in the world, which is waiting for you. I wish you an enjoyable trip to this place and hope that my advice will help you. See you in a new video.